Taking advantage of an early archery season opening in late August, the Realtree team starts their quest in northwestern Idaho with Tim Craig of Boulder Creek Outfitters. Even if the hunting were only ordinary, this is a great hunt, partly because of the gorgeous scenery. Bill Krenz of Bear Archery has decided to try a stand strategically located between lush alfalfa fields and a thick bedding area, with hopes of intercepting a big buck on his way to the alfalfa. The same plan had worked to perfection the year before, as Bill Jordan arrowed a huge 150 class 8-pointer from the same location. Bill gets ready and anticipates what he hopes will be a very productive evening. As the afternoon sun starts to set, slightly cooling the air, the thermals carry Bill's scent down the hill away from the bedding area. Bill spots a huge 10-pointer that stepped out of the thick brush and begins feeding on the rose bushes. This buck, however, is no stranger to the Realtree cameras. The year before, David and Bill encountered the same buck, but as luck would have it, he never stepped within bow range. Hopefully, this time the hunter's luck will change. This deer's behavior is very typical of mature whitetails, staging up to wait for dimming light before arriving at the main food source in the cover of darkness. The buck slowly works his way towards Bill. It's getting darker by the minute. With barely enough video light, the buck finally commits to come within bow range. Bill brings the Bear Majestic XLR to full draw and takes aim. He feels the shot was good.
See, he came right by this bush. Ah, there's the arrow. There. Oh yeah. Good sign on there. That looks good. Well, it's getting dark fast. Could go after him right now, but I think what we'll do is I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till morning. That way I'll have all the guys and we can find him easy. It was a good hit. I don't think he went far.
Well, deciding to leave the deer unpressured the night before, Bill returns the following morning with help from the hunting party to start the tracking. The trail is picked up, and the deer is quickly recovered. Congratulations, Mr. Krenz. What a good-looking buck.
That's Homestead. I told you last night.
He was going to Homestead, wasn't he? That's where he died at Homestead.
This was ripped off right here. I don't know if the guy was done that.
No, he probably just
He gets
that time of year, or he's losing it. Hey, I said last night I saw him on film. That's Homestead. Bill, that was a great deer.
I'll tell you what, this is the best whitetail I've ever taken.
You know, this guy right here does a pretty good job for us. You know, tell me last night, it had to be frustrating to you because you watched this deer for over an hour, just feeding along in one general area, and nightfall started to come, and unfortunately, it got a little bit late, and we couldn't get it on film. And you know, I told you, I said, if early morning, late afternoon, if you get a nice buck, go ahead and take it, even if we can't capture it on film. But had to be experienced watching him for an hour.
Oh, I tell you, it drives you nuts. You're sitting up in that pine tree, and you know the wind was blowing so hard that tree was swaying. And he hung up in some rose bushes at like 40 yards. I mean, I couldn't do a thing.
Yeah, just wait, burning daylight.
Well, it's just a little bit too far to make a perfect shot on him. You know, you just can't be sure, especially in that tree swaying back and forth.
Yeah, you know, Tim and I were talking about this earlier, looking at this buck. Last year we filmed a buck off the same stand. That was the stand I hunted last year, and we called him Homestead. And he had split brows just like this, had double brows on both sides, which this buck has. Racks almost identical. The only difference was he was a 9-point, didn't have the G4s out here.
Right.
But I think this is him. It's a great buck.
Really?
Sure
a year later, same stand,
sure it is, yeah.
and see this big old buck.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. You know, we got a lot more hunting to do, but congratulations
Hey, I
on
appreciate
a great
it.
Idaho buck.
Fantastic. Tim, thank you.
My pleasure.
Great place.
My pleasure.
Big bucks. You know, in 2 days of hunting, this is the 5th Pope and Young buck I saw in 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's my turn.
Yes, it is.
I'm going hunting right now and get one of these.
Good deal.
Oats can also concentrate a lot of deer, especially when it's located on the fertile shoreline of the Milk River. Brad Harris of Lohman Game Calls is about to find out that northeastern Montana can be a bow hunter's dream.
Mike, there's 3 of them, 3 bucks.
After spending a short time on the stand, Brad spots deer coming his way.
Third one's the biggest one.
Now this 8-pointer will do just fine for Brad's tag. Congratulations, Mr. Harris.
God, he just ran a complete circle right around us and just fell right there. Couldn't believe it. 3 bucks come in. I waited on the biggest one and made a good hit. He didn't run 40 yards total, but he ended up shot him in 20 yards on that side, and he's laying 20 yards on this side. It's a great hunt. I tell you, I'm out here in Montana, and there's a lot of huge bucks. I got nervous, folks. I shot a buck that I probably, if I'd just waited 10 more minutes, I could have shot a real big one. And it's one of those things. I got nervous, and I shot a buck, and I'm proud of this buck. I'm tickled to death, but I should have held back because there's a lot of big deer here. But nerves got the best of me this trip, but that's okay. I got a deer down.
Let's take another look in slow motion. Fantastic shot.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this has been a great hunt this evening. Had a lot of deer pass me by here on this early season bow hunt. First deer was in velvet, and then followed by another deer, and then this buck here. Probably shot the smallest buck out of the group, but I got a nice deer. It's just been a good hunt here, early season in Montana. I look forward to coming back. It's been great.
Early September usually finds pro staffer Bob Foulkrod chasing caribou in Canada, but the Realtree team convinced Bob to give Montana a try instead. It was a good decision.
Let's get that safety belt on there first.
Bob fastens his game tracker safety belt as he settles into the stand overlooking the alfalfa field. From this ridge the evening before, Bob and guide Eric Albus glassed several nice bucks in the alfalfa. The following morning, after the deer had plenty of time to leave the field, Bob's stand was placed downwind of several active trails that led out into the field. a buck appears in the alfalfa, and it's definitely a shooter. With the wind swirling, the buck gets nervous and trots off to the river's cover. He would return. An hour later, out of nowhere, a huge 8-pointer bolts out of the brush right on top of Bob.
Man, I can't believe he got here so fast, man.
Where did he come from? You talk about getting caught by surprise.
Man, you talk about getting caught flat-footed. Where the heck did he come from?
This hunt is starting to get interesting. Bob had spotted 2 bucks coming down a drainage ditch, including the buck that Bob had seen in the alfalfa field earlier in the hunt. The moment of truth will soon be here. The first buck eases by. Now that's a keeper at only 7 yards. Bob comes to full draw, but the thick brush makes a shot impossible. He will have to wait for an opening.
Come on, man. Come on. Oh, I don't have a shot. No place. I don't have a shot. I don't have a shot. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
A complete pass-through. The buck shouldn't go far. He is hit hard.
Oh, man. Oh, I got him hurt. What I got is just the way he reacted. I know he's hurt bad because he went over there. He was headed toward that fence. He laid down where them big old trees are over there. I don't know for sure what I got. It was so thick in there. I picked my elbow up off in there like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find that arrow. That'll tell me exactly what I hit or didn't hit. There's his horn right there.
After finding the arrow, Bob decides the buck should be down for the count and stalks up to where the buck had bedded down. An awesome hunt.
Oh man, he's down. He's down. Oh man, what a buck. Look at that, look at that. Oh man, that weight paid off. What a fantastic Montana buck. Oh, that we waited, I climbed clear in the top of that tree. Sat over here and watched him come across that field. Laid in this little gully. I didn't know whether he went across the fence. We knew this big gully went down through there because that's where he was. He's hiding in that stuff down there. Got right up. Isn't that a fantastic buck? Oh man. Man, Bill and David's gonna be happy on that one.
The old country of Mexico is known for its bragging-sized bucks, and David Morris, a leading whitetail authority and author, crossed the Rio Grande with the Realtree team this year to find himself hunting a unique blind location in the top of an old windmill. After hunting for a couple of days and sizing up the top-end potential of this ranch, David has set his goals: a 150-inch buck or better.
Good solid, Dan.
On the 3rd day of the hunt, it didn't take long for the action to begin.
Nice 150s, solid in the 150s.
distance of 300 yards, David starts squeezing the trigger. What a shot!
Got him. Got him. All right. He's down. He's down. Very good. Very good. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. I like him. What a beautiful, beautiful deer. Wow. All right, a beautiful 10-pointer. What a dandy. Wow. Great day. That's a long, long way. I was lucky to get him because that wind was shaking that windmill, but what a stand a windmill makes. They're not afraid of that noise up there at all. You have real attitude to move. All afternoon we've seen bucks chasing does back and forth across this sendero. And finally this old boy came out. What a beauty. What a way to end a hunt here in Mexico with a beautiful sunset, beautiful 10-pointer. Wow, what a hunt. It's gonna be a real good afternoon. What we're doing is a water tank behind us, and it's got a lot of real thick brush. You can see some of the brush behind us. It's got a lot of grass. Well, there are a lot of big bucks bedding up here during the day, and basically what we're doing, Jimmy and Stuart Perlis, we're on the Perlis Ranch. They've seen a lot of good bucks running in here, and with a pre-rut coming on, it's just a perfect situation. So we're just gonna sit tight, and there's what we call a road. They've got called senderos, but it's a real grassy sendero, and we can see a long way. And when these bucks start checking for does, they'll come out of the senderos, and we're able to see a long way too. So we're just gonna sit tight and build us a little ground blind and see what happens.
Prior to Bill's arrival, Jimmy and Stuart Perlitz of the Perlitz Ranch had seen an unusually wide buck in the immediate area. Finding the long grassy sendero with great visibility, Bill feels good about his chances of catching a glimpse of the buck.
Got a big buck.
And if you're looking for wide, this is the man.
Looks like it's gonna be that wide deer. It's a good buck. He's got a long way to go. It's a good buck though.
The buck closes the distance at a steady pace. Oh, a perfect shot. He's not going far.
I think we got us a good buck. I think we made a good hit.
Look at this deer. This deer is some kind of wide. This deer didn't go 20 yards, 30 yards off this road. What a dandy South Texas deer. Look at the width of this buck. Just looking at him right here, I would imagine he's probably 25, inches inside. Got good main beams, probably 23 and a half inch. Got good tine length. Got what I call mule deer splits, on both sides. Got a little kicker point right there. But that is a dandy South Texas buck. Jimmy and Stewart have done a great job, locating a lot of deer this week. Stewart has seen this deer a couple of times, and when I got here, he said, I got a really wide buck. You want to take a look at him? And I said, yeah. I wouldn't mind a good wide buck. So, as luck would have it, we had a great hunt. This deer came. We saw him about 800 yards off, and thought he'd never get here, and finally came up and presented a good shot for us. But a great South Texas deer.